Hey everybody, it's Friday. So I can't wait to show y'all how to get from where you are to where you want to be with your finances this time. I want you to have more confidence and security with all your finances, your savings, your goals, all that. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you 4 steps to help you accomplish that. Inspire the best version of yourself with tips and skills you can implement right away. Look, it's a mind, body, and soul connection, and we all know that when we feel better, we do better. Your future starts now. Thanks for coming back, guys. So today, as I mentioned, I'm going to show y'all 4 steps to gain more security and confidence with respect to your financial goals. And I'm talking about when you complete this process, the amount of security and confidence you will have about yourself financially is going to be just whoa, like off the charts, so worth it. And again, as with all my videos, the only way you're gonna feel that is if you actually do the work. So I encourage you just to take one step at a time and just start working through it. Because what do you have to lose? I mean, even if you only get halfway through it, you're gonna feel halfway better. So I would encourage y'all to start taking the steps to improve your financial life, and I'm gonna show you exactly what those are today. And as a financial advisor, this is the exact process that my clients pay me, anywhere from $1,200 a year all the way up to about $10,000 to $15,000 a year, depending on what their situation is. So what I mean by that is sometimes I have a young couple coming in, or a young individual that are just starting out. They're needing to learn how to start saving for retirement, budgeting, stuff like that, paying off debt. That's a real basic plan, and it's actually cheaper than $1,000 a year. But then I have business owner clients, and they have very complex needs. They may need to work with a team like CPA, attorney, a financial advisor in order to accomplish all of their big goals that they have. So that's why there's a wide range, but the thing is, this model applies to both of those types of people. So you can take this model and really just grow with it and look at it every year and make sure that you are accomplishing all of it. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you want to do with this strategy is you want to, number 1, cover your essentials. And so if you are a client of mine, for example, we send you an email and we ask you some questions, and then hopefully you come in with some of that data for us. And if you don't, then we just kind of go off rough numbers when you're there in the office. You kind of guesstimate. Most people know very loosely what these answers are, so anybody can accomplish this. And if you don't know what the answers are, you can figure them out pretty quickly. So what do I mean by covering your essentials? Again, this relates back to last week's video, where I said you have to know where you are right now. You have to have some honesty about the truth of the situation so that you can go to the next level. That's what this first step accomplishes. It looks at, okay, what is your budget, all right? So if you've never done a budget, that's super important to start doing. And then at some point, you'll get so dang good, you won't need a budget anymore. So that's ultimate goals right there, where you don't even have to look at the numbers anymore. You know you got enough, kind of eyeball it, and you're good, all right? So you've got to know how much are your monthly expenses. That's one of the main questions I ask people to start out before I can even talk about their goals. Again, it's like going to a doctor's office, having your lab work done, having them look at your medical history. I have to know where you are right now. How much does all of your expenses add up to per month? Talking groceries, fuel, rent, mortgage, and then all your debt. If you have any debt, I need to know what all those monthly payments add up to, because you've got to cover those too. And the other thing we have to look at is, how are you covering those essential expenses? those bare necessities, right, to live and get by. What is your income, in other words? So we look at your different income sources. Maybe there's only one, maybe there's a couple. We look at that. The goal is obviously to end up in the green every month and not in the red. So that means end up with positive numbers, money left over, rather than a negative situation. That's the first thing you have to do, because you can't live paycheck to paycheck. We've got to get that problem solved first. And then when you have extra money left over, we're going to allocate it towards your goals. All right, which leads me to number 2. All right, the second thing we work on is ensuring your lifestyle. So that means making sure you get to have a life, that you aren't killing yourself living paycheck to paycheck, not accomplishing anything that's in your heart that you want to accomplish. And looking at it like, we only get this one life as far as we know, so how do you want to live your best life? How do you want to make the most of it? What do you want to accomplish? We're going to list out all your goals for the different areas of your life. The fun part, right? We start to dream, and then we can figure out how are we going to accomplish those dreams. And that sometimes will lead me back to your essentials. How much income do you have? What kind of income do you want to have in the future when you're retired? How do you want your retirement to look like? When do you want to retire? And that's just one aspect of your life. You've got to look at the other things you want to start doing right now if you're not already in retirement. Do you want to travel? We need to make a budget for that. Do you want a second home? Do you want a boat? Do you want to make an impact on your community? Do you want to tithe to your local church? Things like that. We've got to make space for it and figure out how we can accomplish it. And also the figures, like what dollar amount do you need in order to accomplish those goals? What is our time frame? That's all the stuff that a financial advisor can help you work through. That's all within the second step. Okay, the third step, in order to get to financial peace of mind, financial security and confidence, is to prepare for the unexpected. This is probably one of the biggest monkeys you could get off your back, so you can stop worrying about things and just start living life. So what I'm talking about, and moms will especially get this, mothers, you just kind of worry about every scenario for your children sometimes. Well, the same can be said for when you have assets, like a home or a car. You may be worried about your house burning down or getting into an accident or your health going downhill and what that could mean for you financially. If it could wreck you financially, it's a great idea to get insurance to cover those risks so you can remove that worry. So home insurance, auto insurance, health insurance, and those are the bare basics. And then you've got to look at each one of those and make sure your money is being well spent in those categories. Do you have too much coverage? Do you not have enough coverage? Are you leaving your rear end exposed? Or are you giving way too much money to the insurance agent? Those are hidden ways to also find more money for you to put toward your goals if you are paying too much premium on coverages you don't even know what their purpose is. So again, those are strategies, financial advisors, we have tons of them to try to find hidden money for you or save you more on taxes, stuff like that, so that you can start to accomplish your goals. Because sometimes when we're in our little circle of understanding, living from our perspective, that's all we know. And we may not see the solution to our problems, and that's why I reiterate in so many of my past videos to go find somebody who is successful and they'll tell you stuff you don't know. And that's how you get out of your box. And you may think there's no possible way, but I promise you, you can find enough examples of people who have found another way. And so that's where it's so important to keep growing and learning, reading books, watching videos, and talking to mentors. Okay, so back to preparing for the unexpected. After you've got those basic insurances, next level goals is to try to get life insurance and then long-term care insurance in case you ever need to be cared for, like a rehabilitation. If you injured your knee, you need to go to a rehab facility for longer than your health insurance will cover, more than whatever their time frame is. It's important to have those extra things to cover those risks that could just wreck the amount of savings that you have. If you have those things in place, you won't lose all your money. Okay, number 4. After you've covered all the what ifs that keep you up at night and you've determined whether it's financially worth it to cover those risks, you can say, I'm going to forget about it now because I've handled it, or this worry isn't big enough to worry about any longer. It's a good way for you to get stuff up out of your head and out on paper so you can squash it, which lets you go to number 4, which is another fun part. For me, I love helping clients, and I think they equally love going through number 2 and number 4 the most. Yes, you have to do a little bit of the hard work, a little bit of the stuff that doesn't feel so good, like talking about budgets and spending money on insurance. But once you've accomplished that and gotten it out of the way and figured out what you do and don't need to do, you can work on those fun goals. And then number 4, leaving a legacy, which is beautiful. Like, so many people don't get to this accomplishment, but my goodness, if you could think about the world we would live in if more people could get to number 4. And what leave a legacy means is, what mark do you want to leave on the world after you've passed? Who do you want to help? It's so cool because you can kind of like be immortal and live beyond the grave with so many different tools that we have in place and strategies that people don't even know about. Like, you can set up money in certain accounts that will fund future scholarships for kids. So, like, if you struggled in school, or you have a soft spot for a certain school, or there's some organization near and dear to your heart, it doesn't take as much money as you would think to fund scholarships that you could start now, and by the time you pass, if you live a long time, it will grow to a certain amount and continue to grow, and then maybe just give out like a $5,000 or more scholarship, to infinity and beyond, and that's what I think is super inspiring, is that you can leave an amazing mark on your community in so many different ways. That's just one way that you could do that. So you can really have a lot of fun and get creative, and again, ask other people what they're doing, and really start to design a life you love. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I can't wait to see y'all next Friday. Bye.